Welcome to Performance TV. Today we're showcasing an SUV like no other when we visit U.S. Specialty Vehicles in Southern California.
Welcome to today's episode of Performance TV. Boy, have we got a great show for you today. I'm at CNC Motors in Southern California, and look at all this eye candy. There's about $2 million worth of vehicles within 20 feet of me. But today, I'm here to introduce you to the Rhino GX. This is a sport utility vehicle on steroids, full of luxury options and a really rugged vehicle. Let's go over to Kathy to find out more about U.S. Specialty Vehicles.
Well, Robert, here we are in Southern California, and pretty much everything is next to a freeway here, and USSV is really no different. And Yvette, this is one absolutely awesome vehicle. Where did you guys come up with the idea for the Rhino GX?
Well, you know, we've been actually manufacturing luxury executive vehicles for about 10 years now. And about 5 years ago, we realized there was a demand for a nice, luxury, rugged-looking, off-road but still on-the-road vehicle with a really nice plush interior.
I mean, this thing looks like it could just about go through anything. Now, how long did it take for you guys to really develop the entire concept?
Well, you know, we did a lot of R&D for the past 5 years, but we've been in production, aside from the development phase, for a good 3 years.
You guys have really put a lot into developing this vehicle. Really, what type of a customer are you going after with the Rhino?
Our customers are really high-end car enthusiasts who want something different. Love the supercars and so forth, but you know, maybe they're looking for something that's more rugged, but still has that nice luxury interior inside.
And you know, we see the one here, you guys do have some different packages and different things that folks can choose from, so it's not just one cookie cutter type of Rhino.
No, we actually have a model that's kind of your basic, but still, when I say basic, it's still a luxury, still has a Napa leather, but it has a 5 seats, 5 passenger versus a 7 passenger, which is our premium model. And then we also add great features inside, such as Alpine stereos, amplifying sound
all the fun
system,
stuff.
all
Yes.
the good stuff.
All the good stuff, inside and out. And you know what? They make them all right here. And we're going to find out more and check in next with Robert.
Well, the Rhino GX is really an incredible machine. I'm here with Ernie Salazar. You're going to tell me a little bit about how you create this vehicle and why you use a Ford F450 as the chassis.
Well, we use a F450 as a chassis for the simple reason Ford has been proven to build a very tough vehicle. It's been used in different countries for military use and other types of off-road type use vehicles. So it's proven to be a very heavy duty, rugged chassis. So that's why we wanted to use the Ford.
And how much do you actually keep, or how much do you strip off?
Well, we keep the powertrain, chassis, and most of the body, fenders, hood, grille, door skins, all go away in the back of this cab, but everything else stays intact.
What about the suspension?
Suspension, we change out the front coil springs and add Bilstein shocks, and then on the rear we get rid of the leaf springs and we put an all hydraulic system in it that's fully automatic on the fly.
And so is the vehicle, does it turn out heavier or lighter than the Ford?
Well, it turns out a little bit heavier. It starts off at about 6,500 pounds, and we're up to around 10,000 pounds.
Okay, and I notice it's a dually when it comes in, but when it leaves, it's only got a single rear wheel.
Yes, we still have the dually axle. That doesn't change. However, we have custom wheels built for us so that we only use 4 wheels.
Well, I'm excited to see how the Rhino GX is put together. We're going to look at that and a whole lot more right after this break.
Performance TV is being brought to you by EvapoRust, super safe rust remover. American Racing, from performance on the track to bravado on the street, there has been one constant: innovation. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Alloy Gator North America. We're not reinventing the wheel, just protecting it.
Welcome back to Performance TV, and as promised, we're going to show you how the Rhino GX is put together here at U.S. Specialty Vehicles. Ernie, what is the first step of putting the vehicle back together?
Well, first step would be the car rolls in and we have a regular cabin chassis. Now, we have to strip down the cabin chassis to do any metal work. So all the wiring, seats, doors, fenders, hood, grill shell, bumpers, all that comes off the vehicle. Now we get the vehicle without a bed, so we don't have to worry about taking a bed off or anything like that. Before we actually cut the vehicle from the back to put the body on, we put a structure in the vehicle. That's why we take the seats out and everything else, and we put our cross beams inside and we start cutting away.
I notice a lot of lasers around here. What are those for?
All the lasers are here to help set up the vehicle and keep everything level.
So what are the first body panels that you put on?
Well, that would be the B, C, and D pillars. You know, those are reinforced posts that go into the vehicle first so that we can start attaching doors and body panels, interior and exterior body panels.
Now, if I wanted to up armor this vehicle, is there space allowed for that?
Absolutely. If somebody wants to armor this vehicle, because of our wide body and because of how we structure the metal supports in this vehicle, you can add any Kevlar to the side of the vehicles, add any thickness of glass into the side panels without taking any interior space.
When they put the panels on, what kind of welding do they use? And tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, you know, we're using MIG welders here. In some cases, we'll have to do some aluminum work and we'll use some TIG welders and so on. But it's mainly the MIG welders and putting all the assembled panels to the vehicle and welding all that.
And how long does that process take from the beginning of the first weld to finish with all the panels?
Well, that process in the actual production, metal production of the vehicle, you're looking at approximately 30 to 40 days.
Wow. And once those panels are on, then what would the next step be?
The suspension goes in. It's probably one of the first things to do is we put the suspension in. So we remove all the leaf spring suspension out of it. That gives you that heavy duty bumpy ride that most trucks do. And we add a hydraulic system. The hydraulic system is fully adjustable and it just gives you that really nice, comfortable ride. Hydraulic being a lot more active and quick to respond than air ride.
Well, I can tell this is quite a sophisticated suspension. Kathy's taking a look at it right now.
One of the super cool things about this vehicle is the way it rides. And let me tell you, they put a lot of thought into the suspension on this Rhino GX. All your controls right up here on the headliner. One of the things, it almost feels like a sports car going down the road. Why? Because it has anti-sway and self-leveling. So let's say if you have to make a turn really quick because if somebody jumps in front of you, you are not going to feel the weight of the vehicle rock you to one side or the other. It's just going to jump from lane to lane, and that's where you see the yellow lights because this thing, self-leveling. Something else that you can do, you can change the ride height of this vehicle, or say you need to be able to get into a garage or something like that. All you have to do is adjust up, and it's going to go up to 4 inches higher in the back, self-leveling, so it will eventually adjust the front. You can also adjust your ride. Say you're on a kind of bumpy road or whatever, you can just smooth this thing right out. And all you have to do is drop her down into comfort mode. Keep it in normal mode, still feels great. And if you want to get crazy, do a little more performing, you can also do the sport mode. Now, how do they make all this happen mechanically? Let's check in with Robert and find out more.
Well, Kathy, the front suspension has been improved by putting in much stiffer coil springs and Bilstein shocks. The real magic, however, happens in the back of the vehicle. Ernie, you're going to tell me a little bit about the suspension in the back. What did you guys do here?
Well, the suspension in the back, you know, we've added the hydraulic suspension that we talked about. And it starts off being a 2.5-inch tubular suspension that they work around. We've got brackets going from each side of the axle over the pumpkin. Then we've also got self-levelers in the suspension to kind of track the suspension of the vehicle. Now, as that is tracking, it's sending signals to the main components inside the vehicle, telling it, okay, I can, put more oil into this strut, put less oil into the other, so that we have that anti-sway system that we were talking about working. So this way it's always level. It's never swaying to one side or the other, always keeping you level. And really important.
How is the rideability improved by removing the leaf springs?
Well, we all know leaf spring suspension isn't the best thing for your back.
Right.
But, it's made for carrying weight, which is what these trucks started out to be. So now that we've added the hydraulic system, and it's most important to add it in the back of a vehicle than in the front of the vehicle, because that's what you really feel, especially in your lower back driving. So we have the hydraulic struts in the back, the evenly length hydraulic hoses to the reservoir tanks holding the hydraulic fluid. That's all very important that it's exactly the same so that this system performs at its maximum peak. Now, giving the hydraulic suspension in the back of the vehicle versus having a leaf spring suspension, as far as ride goes, it's day and night difference. This thing rides like a sedan, doesn't ride like a truck anymore. And for having 10,000 pounds rolling down the highway, you really want that comfortable ride. And I think we've done it.
Well, now that we understand how this incredible vehicle is put together, we're going to take a look at the interior and exterior modifications when we return to USSV right after this break.
Welcome back to Performance TV as we continue our visit here in Southern California at USSV, checking out this fine Rhino GX. Now, if you think the outside of the vehicle is pretty cool, you should see the inside. The fit and finish is absolutely second to none. It kind of makes you think of a high-end sports car inside an SUV. They've pretty much kept the stock dash, but they've added their own touches to it. And the touches include Nappa leather, and the stitching that they have done with the diamond shape, absolutely awesome. You have your suede headliner. They have taken it all the way through, of course, with the carpeting right through the back. Let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy looking at this vehicle just as much as feeling the inside and riding. And what do you say we find out how they put this all together? Well, let's check in with Robert.
We're here inside the upholstery shop at USSV. Ernie, why don't you tell me a little bit about the materials that you chose for the interior?
Well, we build that rugged exterior look, so we wanted to change it up a little bit and give our customer a really nice, comfortable ride. So we wanted to pick some really nice leathers, some nice suede interior for the interior. So we've chosen the Nappa leather. It's a real high-grade leather that we can use. It's nice and soft, but not too soft. And it works well with what we're trying to do.
So even the dash is here in the upholstery shop. What are you doing with the dash?
Well, the dashboard, we even pull that out of the vehicle, give it a nice paint finish on some of the edges or a wood burl look, and then we top it off with adding some Nappa leather with a nice double stitch on top of that. So it gives it a really nice refined finish and feel.
Now I see some pieces of suede laying around here too.
Yeah, well, we do the suede headliner. So we put some nice imported suede up into the headliner and some of the B, C, and D posts in the vehicle. It gives it that nice, comfortable, warm feel.
And double stitching all the way around?
Double stitching all the way around. We want a really nice look and feel of the seats and door panels and so on that we put in the vehicle.
Well, in today's high-end luxury vehicles, there's a lot of electronic components. How does all the wiring fit into this?
We're building a whole new car, so we've got to put in a whole new wiring harness that we custom built for the car. Because of all the rugged exterior, the interior, we also wanted to put in some nice, amenities like TVs and a nice sound system and navigation and stuff. So we build the whole harness here for the vehicle because, as you know, we started off with a regular cab two-door truck, and now we've built an SUV out of it. So we need that extra wiring harness for tail lights, lighting throughout the vehicle, charging stations, the subwoofers, the amplifiers, and so on. So there's quite a bit of wiring that we put into the vehicle after the fact. So we've built our wiring harnesses to accommodate for everything that's in the vehicle.
So Kathy is over at CNC Motors right now. Let's take a look at the outside of the vehicle.
Standing amongst some of the most beautiful sports cars I have ever seen here at CNC Motors. And Fraser, you guys have been dealing with a very high-end market for quite a few years. How does the Rhino GX play into that for you?
Well, we have a very unique set of customers here at CNC Motors just because of the luxury and exotic cars we sell. USSV is in our immediate area, so we've had a relationship with them since the company started. Their vehicle is so unique, as you guys have seen over at their shop. The production and the final product are nothing short of amazing. Our customers specifically, they like special cars. They like the nicest, fastest cars in the world. So when they're going to drive a truck or SUV, naturally they want to be in the most amazing, wicked, show-stopping, attention getter that the Rhino GX is. You know, the Rhino GX it offers a lot of things to our customers that they like. They have the luxury interior and the comfortable ride of their Bentley. They have the outside of a Radical H1. It's a combination of some of the best types of vehicles in the world, and USSV has rolled it into one truck, and we're standing in front of it here today, and our customers are blown away by it.
Well, you know, it takes a lot to get this vehicle, the way we see it right now, down to the fit and finish, and they really pay a lot of attention to that, and Robert has more.
Well, Kathy, not all of that happens like magic. I'm sure there's a lot of work before we get to that final stage. Now, once we get the vehicle mechanically assembled and all the components, what are the steps to finish the vehicle?
So we got to prep the body, get that ready for paint before we start actually assembling the rest of the car. We epoxy primer the vehicle, then it goes into get primered, a second coat of primer, and then it'll come over into this department where we start assembling some of the interior parts before it gets painted.
And are you using a two-stage or a three-stage paint process?
We're actually using a two-stage with a matte clear coat and a matte paint.
What kind of components are you putting on over here?
Well, over here we'll be putting on all the interior components, final electrical parts, fit and finish of some of the panels after they've already been upholstered.
So before it goes into paint, the interior is basically complete?
Absolutely.
All right, and then for the outside, what parts get bolted on after paint and what go on before paint?
Well, after paint, then we also start assembling the fender flares onto the vehicle to give it that wider stance look. The running boards, the rear tire carrier with the spare tire, and then put obviously the wheels and tires on.
Okay. And again, everything is done here in your facility?
Everything is done here in the facility, from when the vehicle rolls in, to getting taken apart, to building the structure, to doing body, to doing upholstery as we've seen, electrical, and even our own paint facility. So A to Z starts here and it ends here.
Well, Ernie, I understand how the vehicle's put together. I love the way that you finish it. What I really want to do is drive it. And we're going to do that when we come back to USSV right after this break.
Performance TV is being brought to you by Jinwai Hitch, towing made easy. Miller Electric Welders, the power of blue. Spray 9, one product, 9 uses. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Performance TV, and as promised, we're getting to take this bad boy from USSV out and about. I'm not sure how I lost the rock, paper, scissors thing, though.
Well, I'm having a blast driving it, Kathy. This thing is unbelievable.
Absolutely. You know what? Not only does it look absolutely awesome on the outside, the interior is great, but let me tell you something. She can definitely get up and go, and you can take it off-roading.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to stop it, put it in 4-low, and we're going to hit that hill right there.
Hit the hill? All right.
All right, here we go.
Should I have brought my helmet with me, Robert?
Hold on, Kathy.
Okay, here we go.
God, this is like driving a Corvette up a paved road.
That's what I like. All right. Yeah, this thing just, like, it's nothing.
It's an unbelievable vehicle.
You know what? There's an unbelievable view up here, too. Man, this is absolutely awesome. Well, you know what? We have had a lot of fun finding out how these vehicles are made, but we can't stay out here and play forever because it is kind of getting dark, you know?
Yeah, maybe we should go back and check in with Ernie. What do you think?
Okay, let's just go down the hill one more time.
Kathy, I'm really impressed with how this handled both off the road and on the drive back.
I'm telling you what, this thing is just absolutely amazing. Still can't believe you didn't let me drive it, but you know what? I'll get my payback soon enough.
I'm telling you, it drove like a luxury car on the street.
It absolutely did. And Ernie, that Rhino GX is just amazing. I mean, we saw how they were made, how you guys do absolutely everything in-house. And now we got an opportunity to go out and, well, do a little bit of playing, but...
So what'd you think?
Well, I want one. Okay, so if you want one, how can you get one?
Well, we've got dealers around the country.
Okay.
The best way to do is find out where you're located, go to our website. There'll be a list of dealers there, and you can call one of our dealers and put one on order.
You know, I can imagine that something like this vehicle, probably a lot of pretty cool people have one of these at home.
We've got a list of celebrities, athletes, you know, people in the movie business that have already acquired one or have some on order. But it's for everybody. It really is.
I've got a question for you. We've been here all day. What is this? I haven't seen it.
Well, this is our Rhino XT prototype. This vehicle will be in production this month, out to local dealers in different parts of the country mid-February. And this is a smaller version of just a fun, you know, off-road vehicle to drive, a lot smaller than the Rhino GX.
Yes, big fun in a minier package. We want to thank you, Ernie, so much for having us out here. We had so much fun here at USSV. We hope you had fun watching him drive. You know what? That's all we got time for this week.
We'll see you next week.
That's right. For more of Performance TV.